Can I then bring it over here to Jeanette and all those spots are imperfect? And then go to Cheryl and all those spots are imperfect? And then go back here to little bitty Lacey and have all those spots be perfect? No. So if you're deciding where you're going to put the stethoscope, the answer is it depends. Because what does it depend on? Where you're placing the stethoscope, you have to envision the anatomy under it. So I could draw, since he's so nicely taken off the shirt for me, I could take a marker and I could draw where his bronchi are going to bifurcate, and then I could draw where the lungs are, just like on that little website that had all the neuro stuff and the lung stuff and all that stuff. So just recognize that one size does not fit all. I want you to visualize what's under there. So if I put my stethoscope up here, what is the anatomical thing I'm listening to?
Trachea.
It's trachea. And what are the breath sounds going to sound like up there? Loud, harsh. What's going to be longer? What's going to be shorter? What phase?
Exhales longer.
And why is expiration longer?
Coming back up.
If you're listening for inspiration, once that air passes it, you're really not hearing it, but you're listening the whole way out on expiration. Okay, so expiration is going to be longer. Then where do I want to go? What's the next listening areas?
Second intercostal space.
Second intercostal space. So hold hands warm part. Okay, here's the suprasternal notch. Then I'm going to run my fingers down. Here's sort of the speed bump. If I walk my fingers over, that should be about second rib, and I'm going to come down below that, and that's second intercostal space. So, what else is the listening area for this at this spot?
The base of the heart, aortic and pulmonic.
Okay. Am I going to listen to breath sounds and then heart sounds all at the same time? No. Probably not. Could you?
Yes.
Absolutely, but it messes up your patients because they're sitting there taking big, deep breaths, and then you're going to have a hard time listening to the heart sounds. So, just be clean about it, do all the respiratory stuff, then do all the cardiac stuff. Okay. So, if I put my stethoscope up here, what am I going to be listening to?
Upper lobe.
Upper lobes, and what kind of breath sounds? Let me see if I can hear breath sounds here. Can you open your mouth and take a breath? I absolutely hear breath sounds, so let it out. Okay, so that's 1, 2 spots. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to come down to second intercostal space. I'm trying to just breathe regularly. Okay. So I have some interference with heart sounds there, but I can still hear the breath sounds. It's just quieter because I've got this interference. And I'm still hearing a bunch of heart sounds over here. Maybe a little bit deeper. Can you breathe? It's like, why am I not hearing breath sounds? He's making me out. Okay, so I can come down here. Okay, let it out. And if you have a patient that is kind of just sucking it in and not ever letting it out, you can just say breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay? And then under the right arm. Okay. Okay. So I heard upper lobes, bronchovesicular, upper lobe, perhaps lower lobe here. I'm not sure what I was listening to. Perhaps lower lobes, could be still upper. And then I heard right middle over here. So then I need to go around this way. What am I listening to up here?
Upper lobe.
Upper lobes. What am I listening to right here?
Upper lobe.
Probably still upper lobes on him. So between the scapula, this is probably close to second intercostal space, so I'm going to listen there, and that should be about equal. Then here's the scapula. I'm going to come around this way. So if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then and 7, 8 kind of come out like an hourglass, 9, 10, and I can probably do 11, 12 on him. If this is a little short person, a little short thorax, I might only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or I might get 7, 8. So it depends on what you're listening to and how big your patient is, okay? So we did that, turn back around. Now let's listen to the heart. So as we're listening to the heart, what are the 5 listening areas?
Aortic and pulmonic.
So again, second intercostal space, you already found that spot. Aortic, pulmonic, 1 interspace down. Second pulmonic or Erb's point. What's special about that one?
So we hear murmurs.
Murmurs and extra heart sounds. Do you have to flip your stethoscope over to the bell right then to listen to that? No, because you're just going to mess yourself up. So just keep rolling. I might listen with the diaphragm there if I hear anything that I think is funky. At the end of my exam, I'll turn my bell on over and I'll listen there. Fourth intercostal space, what's that? Okay, and then 1 more interspace at the midclavicular line. So this should be the mitral. Okay, and when I was bored last night and couldn't sleep at 3 in the morning, I was going, I wonder if I can feel my PMI, because that's the mitral area, it's the point of maximal impulse, it's the apical impulse is what's that called. So, and fellas with their chest bared, you may be able to appreciate it. If you can't see it, you could have the person lean forward, because then their heart's going to be closer to the chest wall. That might make you see it. If you don't see a PMI, who cares? Okay? Not mandatory. Somebody this morning was asking, well, what about that epigastric area that's on that diagram? What's special about that? Are you going to listen there? Not particularly, unless you're just, wanting to go for extra. What's special about the epigastric area? Somebody this morning said that's not where you want to do CPR, which is true, because you've got the pointy part of the sternum there, and unless you don't like your patients and you want to pop some solid organs, that is not a great place to put your hands. Okay? The epigastric area is where you might see pulsations from if somebody has a kind of a bulging aorta. Okay? So would you want to be doing a lot of palpation if you had a bulging aorta?
No.
No, most of us like for our aortas to stay intact. Okay? So we're not going to go here. So aortic, pulmonic, Erb's point, tricuspid, and then mitral's over here. So each listening area, you're just going to listen to love and dub. So you're going to tune in, you're going to listen to the rate. You might try to appreciate if love is louder here, which it should be.
Isn't dub louder on top?
Oh, yes, thank you. See? I told you. Check it out for me today. I'm kind of thinking I might hear a split S2 on Jillian, which is okay. And S1 is way louder here than it was up top, okay? So, I'm listening to the rate. Is it fast for what I would expect for him? Is it slow for what I expect for him? So, what would fast be? Okay? What would slow be?
Love.
So, on your bedside assessment sheet where it has apical rate, you don't have to do like the exact rate for practicum. You just have to say, is it like in the normal range for what you'd expect? If Jillian had told me that he goes out and he runs 25 miles a day, I would expect his heart rate to be love, dub, because an athletic person is going to have a much slower, stronger heartbeat to be able to perfuse while they're doing the running. Okay, do you have any questions? Do y'all have any questions?
Mm-mm.
On respiratory cardiac assessment.
On the practicum, we're not gonna do, respirations and count all those, or?
You don't have to do vital signs, you don't have to count it, but when I'm listening and when I'm looking at him, do I care about the rate?
Mhm.
Again, just like the heart, is he breathing really fast? Is he breathing really slow? Does he look like he's oxygenating well? Okay? But you don't have to actually do any of the vital signs for practice. So, tracheal, bronchial, bronchovesicular. The only two places you're gonna hear that are front and back, and about second intercostal space. Anywhere else, think about the tissue under there. So even if I'm listening up here, the noise is coming through the trachea, it's going down there through the bronchi, then it's splitting off, it's going through a bronchial, maybe another little bronchial, maybe another little bronchial. Whoa, I say that every time real fast. And then the alveoli. So it's basically the same thing anywhere else on the lung tissue other than trachea and every bronchi. Okay? So everywhere else is vesicular. And that should be quieter because you're going through all those little variations. You got, it's like going through a little maze. And then it's also quieter because here I'm listening through very little bit of tissue. Here I'm listening to some big tubes right there close to the skin. And the rest of it's kind of deeper down in there. It's in the lungs. It's all, deeper. And I've got more tissue to go through, especially the fatter the person is I'm listening to. Or the more breast tissue I'm listening to.
If you are hearing bronchovesicular sounds in a place where.
So if I were listening right here, or over this way, and I heard bronchovesicular, what is that significant?
Is that significant of an impaired gas exchange, or there's like a blockage, or you're listening through something?
I don't know that there's impaired gas exchange, but my radar would be up for that, because what does it tell me I'm listening through?
Fluid or solid?
Fluid or solid, I'm not listening through air, because it's being transmitted like it's higher up in the system. And solid transmits sound best, fluid transmits better, then air is the worst. Okay, so think about when you're underwater, if you were a kid, you're playing underwater and you could still hear all those noises, like kind of loud. The sound gets transmitted really well. Okay, got some other hands over here.
Do we need to know specifically each of the intercostal spaces that were in between for testing
No.
purposes?
For testing purposes? Boy, that sounds like some really good memory stuff to have a test question on.
Do you need to know the between 1 and 2, 5 and 6?
So how tough is this? Second intercostal space,
Right.
third intercostal space to the left, fourth intercostal space to the left, fifth intercostal space, midclavicular one. It's really not hard to
So
remember.
that's a little bit of a little light zone when you're.
So if I said, what are you listening to at the fourth intercostal space to the left of the sternum? What would be some things you could say? Tricuspid listening area. What sound is louder there? S1 is better at the apex.
Right.
Apex, and at the tricuspid and mitral. So I could say what's
Okay, so
louder
you're-
there. I could say what's the name of the space. I could ask you a whole bunch of questions.
So S2 is louder at the tricuspid also?
At the what?
Yeah,
The
so
The only
tricuspid?
thing you need to know about
Just
second
the
intercostal
mitral.
space for lungs is
Yeah,
that's
the mitral.
bronchosecond.
The mitral and the
You're not gonna-
tricuspid
that's what I'm
are.
saying. So for cardio, you would need to know the.
Love.
Yeah, for lungs, we don't
Louder.
need to go like 5, 6, 8.
So tricuspid and mitral.
I might say
I'm
the
gonna say
words right
pulmonic
Because
away.
it's been both, so
You could say 4 to 6 reps.
Yeah.
I forget.
You guys good? Other questions about that? So you're all rock stars on respiratory and cardiac. Practice makes perfect. Thank you